That has to be just such an unbelievable feeling. I mean, guys like Clevenger, guys like Evaldi, who've had 2 Tommy John surgeries. Like, I mean, as a player who's gone through some significant injuries, it's tough, man. You have days in the training room where you're getting your work in, going through your daily physical therapy where you never see that light at the end of the tunnel. And for Clevenger to be able to come through that, go up against his past team, and go out there and do his thing, have fun, top of the zone, 94, 95, out there like fully competing. I mean, going into the game, you thought he would throw like, 70, 75 pitches. He went out here and threw 95 pitches tonight.
You know, it's guys coming back from injury. We take it for granted. Chris Bo, that guy's injured. Oh, and he comes back. Oh, and here is his first game back since Papa. Ronald Acuna, who just came back. I called that ball game last week. He said he was in pain. He thought he was going to quit. He didn't think he'd ever come back. So the stars come back, and there he's back. But there's a long road to get there.
Yes, and it gives you a great appreciation for the game. It gives you perspective. When you look at the Padres, I think their rotation is going to lead them into the postseason. Yes, they bring in Bob Melvin, but when you look at this rotation, you have Darvish, you have Musgrove, and McGinty Gore, which is the former #1 pick. He struggled in the minor leagues the last couple seasons with command. He has arrived at the big leagues, and he has been tremendous, basically giving this rotation some boost at the back end of their rotation. See why?
I agree. I mean, their starting rotation looks on paper really good. Granted, last season, their starting pitching on paper looked really good, but I think like the big signings like bringing Manaea over, McKenzie Gore being back, being healthy, Yu Darvish, finding his way. You put those guys together, there's not a guy in that rotation where you're chomping at the bit to get to the bat rack. Yeah. None of those guys.
You know who else is tearing it up? Hosmer, Machado, obviously, we know who those guys are. Less famous guys. Ha-Seong Kim, who a good process player, is now like having success in his actual, results. Jurickson Profar always has good at bats. Guy who battles is another player who's really tearing it up for the Padres. Give me a read on the NL West then. The Dodgers are monstrous, right? We know this. They look like it last night. Dodgers and Pirates are going after each other now. It's in the middle of a 2-game series. But who, like Dodgers, Padres, Giants? Give me a read on what you see.
I mean, I think the Dodgers are a class above everybody else. The Giants, I can't really figure them out, but when you look at the Dodgers, it's just a complete baseball team. They went out, they signed Freddie Freeman to boost that offense. Trey Turner is one of the best players in all of baseball. I just think when you look at the Dodgers lineup 1 through 9 and that rotation, they're going to be tough to take over in the National League West.
They are. Dodgers on paper look great. I mean, but you still have some guys that they're not clicking on all cylinders now, and they're still sitting where they are, atop the division. But once you get guys like Max Muncy going and some of those other guys in that lineup, they're going to start rolling. But I think the Padres will be a thorn in everybody's side this season that they weren't last year. They'll be able to come in and go after those Giants and hopefully try to knock those guys out the picture.
I just want to throw something in on the Giants, and I said this yesterday. This is not disparaging. I'm complimenting them. I can't believe the Giants are still toward the top, still competing with the lineups that they're rolling out. I mean, come on. I mean, guys are hurt. They don't have Belt, right? They've got all sorts of guys. Yaz isn't playing. They had guys on COVID. Brandon Crawford and a bunch of little guys are somehow in there, and they're still competing. Look, Wilmer Flores, Tyro Estrada, as we say, no disrespect, Austin Slater, and, the other Luis Gonzalez. How are the Giants still piecing it together? Because they're very
Hey, what are you talking about, BK? These are all household names right here.
That's right.
The sum is greater than the parts. And when you look at the Giants last year, to me, I felt like they took advantage of the Padres' downfall. This is going to be a 3-horse race to me all the way to the finish line. And I still believe that the Dodgers are the class of the National League West, but you cannot discount what the Giants did last year. And that's what makes it a 3-horse race.
You can't. Pitching and defense plays. And
yes.
And Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon are going to do their thing. Alice Wood, they're going to always keep you in the game. And when you're a team like the Giants, all you have to do is stay within the game, stay within reaching range. And the way you do that is by going out there and playing good defense. And all you need is a big hit every now and then. And that's how they win games last year. That's how they're going to win games this year. And that's how they're going to continue to compete.
The only teams that have outscored, I'm looking at it right now, that have outscored the Giants this year are the Yankees and Mets. They're third in runs scored with those guys. So I got to say, no disrespect, those guys they're absolutely getting it done. All right.